Wesley's with us in California. Hi, Wesley. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. How can I help?
So I've been following your advice for a couple of months now. I'm relatively fresh, but what's going on is my fiance of 7 years just gave birth to our second son. First son is 6 years old, and in those 6 years, we've racked up about 27K of credit card debt. It's all in her name. I've got about 3K that I let go after he was born, but they've stopped hounding me for it. I'm trying to set up a budget now. I work full-time, bringing in about 27K, and just can't seem to get the budget to click properly. Need some advice from you.
Okay. Does she work outside the home?
She's a stay-at-home mother.
Okay. You have a fiance for 7 years?
She's the one that's been putting off marriage because she's afraid of taking that next step forward. And
she's not afraid of having
family.
babies. That's wild, man. Okay, cool. All right. I'm sorry, man. Painter, get off the ladder. Okay. So what I would do is put you on a every dollar budget. It's completely free. All right. Hello?
Okay, and I've already done that.
Okay, good. So you've got it all written out every month. You're doing that. Are you going over that with her?
Yes, I'm slowly starting to get her to come around and get on the plan as well, because I don't like having to be the sole provider and just not know where the money's going. So I want both of us on board with the plan.
Amen. Well, y'all don't make much money, so you got to really make it stretch. I mean, a family of four with, if you were married, a family of four with 2 children making $27,000 in California is probably right at the poverty line. Okay.
Yeah, and luckily we don't have any rent to pay because we're living with her family, which is a toxic environment, but at least it helps us save some costs there.
Yeah. Okay. So how old are you?
I am 28.
And what city do you live in?
I live in Marysville, which is just outside Sacramento area.
Okay. All right. And what is your long-term career goals?
That, honestly, I don't even know what I would like to do. I just see myself jumping from job to job until I find something that sticks and being able to provide for my family.
Okay. Well, I've got a son that's your age. He's 28. Okay. And so I'm thinking of him right now, and I'm thinking if he was in this situation and he sat down and said, "Dad, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. What do you think about this?" Okay. Here's what I would tell him. There's a lot of statistical correlation between people winning with money and their overall quality of life in getting things in the right order about getting married and having kids. You got some of that out of order already, so let's get that corrected. This is what I would tell my own son, okay? You do what you want to do. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm saying I love my son, and this is what I would tell him, okay? Then the second thing I would say is you're starving to death, and you're living in a toxic environment that you're forced to live in because you're starving to death. And so you desperately need to start setting some goals and having some clear vision for your life on your career side. Because where you live is not an inexpensive place to live, and you don't make any money. I'm not picking on you, and I'm not talking down to you, but, dude, your life would change dramatically if you made $75,000 a year. Obviously, you know that. And so what are we going to do? And let's spend some real energy, some quiet time on the back porch with a cup of coffee, and even if you have to go to the neighbors because there is no quiet time in this toxic house, sit on the back porch with a cup of coffee somewhere and go, okay, God, what am I going to do so that when I'm 42 or I'm 28 now, when I'm 38, I'm well on my path to earning a considerable amount more in something that I enjoy doing and that I'm gifted at doing. What is that? And you kind of have to brainstorm that and pray that through, and just have some quiet time and watch the mist roll off the river or whatever, and kind of get this dialed in. But I used to go down to my lake house, for instance, and take a yellow pad and just spend a day with me and God, walking around just talking to Him. And what do you want me to do this year? What do you want me to do next year? What do you want to do? What do you want me to do 10 years from now? And thinking out into the future, because you can get caught up in the day-to-day diaper changing and the day-to-day crazy mother-in-law stuff, and all of a sudden you look up and another decade is gone, and you're sitting exactly where you were. You got to do something that gives you a vision and pushes you out into the future and start setting some career goals, because a lot of what I'm hearing from you is, mathematically, you're not doing a horrible job with the money you have coming in. You just don't have much coming in. And I'd love for you to have a plan that says, I want to be one of those, and I'm going to go study these three things so that I can be one of those, and I'm going to get about that business, because that gets me out of my mother-in-law's house. That gets us in a position that we get rid of this debt, all these old bad debts. I can go back and clean them up. I can really get my freaking life together here, but it's going to require a very careful and intentional series of steps. If you continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. I'm going to jump from job to job to job and hope this works out. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. You need a path. And I'm going to fight, and I'm going to scratch, and I'm going to claw, and I'm going to grind, and I'm going to hustle to work that path. And that's going to get me there. And that'll change your life. That'll put you into classes to take, certifications to take, degrees to get. That'll put you into mentorship programs, apprenticeship programs. It'll put you into all kinds of things, because that's what it takes to go that path. And you ask yourself, what has to be true that's not true today to be one of those when I'm 38? And then get about that business. And sir, that'll change your life, because you have all of these negative variables controlling you right now. And I really, really want for you that you get to control all these variables. Instead of this lack of money, the bad career, the bad housing situation, the old bad debt, all of this is pounding you, and I want to get you up on top of it where you're pounding it and you're making it behave. That's what coffee would sound like between me and my son if he came in with your exact set of problems. And I would tell him to paint or get off the ladder. I really would, because I just did.